This video is sponsored by Hotone. The guitar sounds so good here in the bathroom. I wish I could take this reverb with me on tour. Oh. Let's go. Hi there, Perfecto Castro here and welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. This is the latest reverb pedal from Hotone, the Verbera. Verbera? Wait, no, because it's reverberation, so it's Verbera. Verbera. Reverberation? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. How should I pronounce this? Verbera or Verbera or Verbera? Anyway, the Verbera is a convolution reverb. Convolution reverbs up until now were pretty much just used in digital audio workstations as plugins. So instead of a physical object or a digital algorithm that, approximates reverb, convolution reverb uses a sound sample of an actual space and convolutes it into a digital space that you can apply to your tracks or your instruments. And thanks to pedals like the Verbera, you can now take that technology and incorporate it into your pedal board for live use. Big thanks to Hotone for sponsoring this video and for sending me my very own Verbera pedal to show off and play with. As always, I will have affiliate links to the Verbera in the video description. So if you want to go gear shopping, please use these links to give extra support to me and my work on this channel. Thank you so much. And of course, in the Philippines, you can get the Verbera and other Hotone products from gcrockboard.com. Use my code GCPerf10 for 10% off your entire order. Enjoy. Now, the Verbera is actually a 2-in-1 pedal. Along with the convolution reverb is a digital reverb algorithm called XR, or Hotone calls it extra reverb. And you can run both reverbs simultaneously to create your own sonic ambient landscape. Now, a lot of demos here on YouTube already go through the Verbera's presets, so I am going to focus on the convolution reverb part and capture an IR of my bathroom. Load it onto the Verbera, build a preset. That way I can take my bathroom tone the next time I tour. Okay, first up, let's capture that impulse response. Okay, so here's how to capture your own convolution reverb IR. I'm here in my bathroom, fairly reverberant space. I got tiles on the wall, tiles on the floor, and drywall on the ceiling, and there's a bunch of glass around the stuff. So I'm using my Zoom M4 mic track to capture the samples. And what you want is a fairly quiet environment. And then the sample that you're trying to get should have a sharp spike for the attack. And then be as very quiet as you can so that the mic picks up whatever reverb trails this room produces. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna open those files up in the computer and see what we got. Okay, so let me show you how to prepare our freshly captured impulse response. So drag it onto your DAW. In this case, I'm using Logic. And then this is our IR right here. And as you can hear, these are the claps. Okay, I think I would like the first one. Nice and reverberant. And what we're going to do is we are going to isolate that impulse capture, right? Get it as short as possible, and then we're going to zoom it in. And then, yeah, that way we can see as much of the waveform as we can. Okay, and then see, zoom it in even further, because we want to see where the capture starts. So this looks good. Okay. Trim it, and then let's go to the end. So you can see all these artifacts right here. And right at the tail end, it will gradually fade to kind of nothing. I think this is it. Yeah, so that's a little bit over there. Delete that, trim, and then zoom it out. Let's hear it. Close enough for rock and roll. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is put a little fade at the beginning and at the end, just so that there aren't any unwanted pops. And just at the very beginning. Okay, good. So that is our impulse. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this region and save it as its own WAV file. So export region as audio file, and then we're gonna do save it to wherever you want. PDC bathroom IR. Okay, now we have to test it before we import it to the pedal. So we are already here in Logic. We might as well use that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a track. Since we're using it on guitar, I will find a loop, a guitar loop, guitar, select a guitar, and look for the driest, loop available. Let's go with this, why not? So drag it here. Okay, then open the mixer. And then I'm going to load Logic's very own convolution reverb. And go to reverb, and that is Space Designer Stereo, right? So here is Space Designer, and we are going to go to this drop-down menu, load IR, and let's see, where is that? Okay, there you go, IR3. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to it all 100% wet and turn the dry all the way down. Yeah, okay, so this guitar loop sounds like it's being played right in my bathroom. Okay, that's just the wet signal. So pure bathroom tone. And then let's see. And if we mix in the dry signal, you can hear, the bathroom tone a little subdued in the back, but it adds a dimension to the guitar. Now, this is a little bit of foreshadowing for when we start tweaking this IR in the Verbera pedal. I want you to take a look at this envelope right here. So this waveform is our IR sample. And then this envelope right here controls which part of the wave file is being used for the convolution reverb. So we can soften the attack like this, right there. See that? The initial spike of the waveform is now truncated, right? Or I can grab everything. We can gradually fade everything out, or I can have the whole sample just, play all the way through. And then this is the cutoff of the attack. This is important because the Verbera actually has a knob that functions the same way, and we will get into that in a little bit. Now I know we're using this IR for guitar later on, once it's loaded in the Verbera pedal, but it works just like any regular IR. You can use it in your DAW, let's say for drums. Okay, so let me just grab a drum loop right here. So let's grab that and let's loop it. And then I'm going to copy that convolution reverb onto the drum track. That's my bathroom. Okay, a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to quit Logic and I will show you how to load this IR onto the Verbera. Okay, so now I have the Verbera pedal connected to my MacBook via USB-C right here. And I am going to open the Neon Collector app from Hotone. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about the Neon Collector software is that it's not an editor for your Verbera pedal. All the parameter tweaks are still done hardware style via these knobs. So the Neon Collector is more of a librarian where you can manage your presets, import and export them to and from the pedal, as well as import and export IRs to and from the pedal as well. And to show you, these are the presets on the pedal. If I double click on anything, you don't see any knobs. And clicking around, there really isn't anything else as far as the app goes, right? But if you click on the three dots, you can import, export, copy, paste, rename, and so on. So you can back up all your presets from the pedal to Neon Collector and go back and forth. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is go into IR Manage, and we are going to import an IR, right? Okay, so import IR. And the latest IR is PDC Bathroom IR3 open. Okay, so import successful. Right now, it will show up at the very end of the list, ID number 122. Now, here's the somewhat tedious part. Even though I have the IR loaded onto the Neon Collector, it still doesn't show up on the pedal itself. It doesn't automatically load. We have to restart the pedal, power it down and power it back up so that it will reconnect to the app and then everything will be synced. It's a little clunky, but it is what it is for right now. So let's see. Oh, also before you power down the pedal, you need to unmount it because it shows up as an external hard drive. And bad computer stuff happens to external hard drives when you just power it off without unmounting it. So eject, okay, device disconnected, power it down, power it back up. Now, if we go to IR presets, P, and you will see there, yeah, there's two PDC bathrooms. Two PDC bathroom IRs. Okay, now that my impulse response is loaded, I'm gonna go grab a guitar and let's build a preset. Okay, so I have everything set up. I am using my Jackson USA Custom Shop Soloist. I've been loving this guitar lately, but it is up for sale on my Sweetwater Gear Exchange. I think I'm gonna keep it. Now for the dirty amp tones, I am using the Valiton GP5 Set Dry. If I turn off the Verbera, there's, the reverb block on the GP5 is turned off. Pretty much all the ambience will come from the Verbera itself. And this also allows me to segue into the Verbera foot switch modes. So one foot switch mode is to turn the pedal on and off using the left button, right? And then the second button is for the freeze function, as shown on the pedal print right here. Right? And then if you press both foot switches at the same time, you go into preset scrolling mode. So in that mode, both switches light up orange. And then the left foot switch goes down the presets, and right foot switch goes up. Okay, now let me show you this really quickly. So preset 3 is the Elysium Hall. So off, right? Let's go into the other foot switch mode, turn the preset on. Then hold the note. Okay, so straight out of the box, you already get very, very nice presets on the Hotone Verbera. However, you should know that the freeze function only works with the XR reverb. And it goes without saying, once the XR side is frozen with the freeze button, you're pretty much relying on the IR for your reverb. So the playing over the drone thing will work better if you have a longer convolution reverse setup. But that's not what this video is all about. I'm going to find an empty slot and let's build a preset with the IR that I just captured. Now, aside from going up and down in foot switch preset mode, we can also scroll through the presets using its dedicated rotary encoder. So let's see, preset, and then I'm going to turn it to, let's see, 200. You don't have to go too far. Then I'm going to turn down all the other parameters, right? Just so that we have everything down and dry. Now, as already mentioned, the Verbera has two reverb engines going on at the same time. The convolution reverb one and the extra reverb, or XR, which is a digital algorithm. Orange lights indicate that you are in convolution reverb mode, or IR mode. Then press Alt. Some knobs light up blue, mainly decay, pre-delay, modulation, and mix. And this is XR mode, or extra reverb mode, or digital reverb mode. And also in alt mode, you're tweaking the secondary functions of the knobs that have it. So with this middle knob right here, with the lights turned blue, you are tweaking pre-delay. And then on the top rightmost knob, you are tweaking the modulation, if it's in blue. So I'm gonna turn all of these down as well. Okay, nothing. Now I'm gonna load my IR and I'm gonna find it using this IR knob right here. And like I mentioned, I have this arranged in alphabetical order, so I just need to go to the letter P bank. There you go, PDC bathroom. There it is. And once it's loaded, you will see it on the bottom of the screen. Turn the mix up. Now, a couple of things I'm going to do. I'm going to turn decay all the way up since it's, a fairly small space. And now let's hear the IR by turning the mix up. And this is just a pure wet signal. That's my bathroom. Now, notice that my basic guitar tone is on the thick side, almost tubby, actually. And once I mix in my bathroom IR, it adds a nice bit of high-end information to the guitar. So instead of being like flubby and in your face, it now has its own space. Now let's see, try turning up the tone. I actually like it all the way up. Okay, I'm going to keep the mix at 50% for now. Now remember earlier when I was showing you the waveform envelope in Logic? So the attack knob on the Verbera acts in a similar fashion. See, let's turn the mix higher. And as I turn attack up, so what the attack knob allows you to do is to change the start of the convolution reverb based on your impulse response. So all the way down, you get the entire file. Right? And let's say you don't want as sharp an attack. You can start turning it up. Okay, so it's a little more tame. And then when we bring the mix down, this is what it sounds like with the regular guitar signal. So you can tweak your loaded IRs as subtle or as upfront as you want. However, this is also dependent on the length of your wave file, because if you turn it way up, you actually cancel out your guitar signal. So that means you've gone past the length of your wave file. But for this particular IR, I am going to leave attack off. Something like that. So compare without the IR. With the IR. Yeah. Okay, now let's hear this tone in the context of a track. I will start with the Verbera turned off first, and then somewhere in the middle, I'm gonna kick it in. That way you can get to hear the exact effect. Okay, So as soon as I turned the Verbera on, the guitar occupied its own sonic space in the mix, and it actually sounded like a nice and loud amp being turned up in a bathroom, which is exactly what I was after. Okay, so now I have my core guitar tone, this raging Velton GP5 in my bathroom. And let's add a little more ambience using the Verbera XR. So go into Alt. Blue mode is all the way down. Let's see. Let's turn the mix up to around 30. Then I'm gonna turn up decay. Let's go for a big reverb using this algorithm. There you go. Nice. Then let's make that warbly with the modulation. And then I want it to start slightly delayed. So let's turn up the pre-delay. Maybe less modulation. Okay, let me try to get everything under control. Hold on. Okay, now that I like what I'm hearing, let's save this preset. So press the preset knob. Okay, so 200, and then let's change the name. Press the preset knob again, and now you can scroll through the different letters of the alphabet. So let's see. P, then move to the next one. A little tedious, but you know, it is what it is. And then once you have the name typed in, cancel and OK or correspond to these two outer buttons right here. So, OK. There you go. Saved. Okay, there you have it. That's how I'm going to take my bathroom reverb out on tour using the Hotone Verbera Convolution Reverb pedal. Again, big thanks to Hotones for sponsoring this video and for giving me free reign in presenting the Verbera Convolution Reverb pedal to all you guys. And if you want to know more about the pedal, or if you want to buy your very own, please drop by the video description for all the relevant links, affiliate or otherwise. Thank you so much for your extra support. And in the Philippines, you can get the Verbera and other Hotone products from gcrockboard.com. Use my discount code GCPerf10 at checkout to get 10% off your entire order. Now you've made it this far, so let me know what you think. Is there a special space that you want to capture as an IR so that you can load it to the Verbera and add it to your pedal board? Let me know in the comments. Here's a couple of videos YouTube recommends, so click to watch, then go grab your guitar and play something. Y'all know the drill. Practice makes perfecto. Cheers, guys.